Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing coming to you with another tutorial. I love the expansive possibilities when you're making ephemera for your journals. I have been just like looking at basic ephemera and just trying to make it more valuable, make it have more writing space, make it have more flips, more flops, more multi-functional capabilities. And so I have done that again. But before I show you that, before I show you, I have to bring over something to the screen. So I should have just put it in screen to start with. Pardon me. But you guys know that I absolutely love watercolor. And so I want you to meet my Bodacious palette. So I just got this palette. I'll open it here in a second. It is a porcelain palette from, I can't think of, Meaden, I believe. And I liked this circular shape of it. This is my swatch card, and so just I may as well just give you a little bit of color theory and transparency theory. So I put permanent marker here on each of my colors so that we can see, and I can see when I'm using them, how transparent the color really is. So you can see here that Rose Madder is extremely transparent. It didn't affect that black at all. The ultramarine blue is the same. We've got this azo green that is also very transparent. Burnt umber. You can see this yellow ochre is not as transparent. It's got some milkiness there. This gamboge also has milkiness. This undersea green is actually quite transparent. Teals are generally not, so you can see that on that black bit as well. The ultraviolet is very transparent. So just but these, I thought, I want a palette. So it's still big. I think it's like 13 by 13 inches, but it's not long and narrow, it's square. And so I saw it on on Amazon. I'm like, I'm going to get this for myself for my birthday. So I got it for myself for my birthday. So let me just show you it really quick. I'm calling her Bodacious because it's the biggest palette I've ever, well, not really the biggest. I guess I'm calling her Bodacious because she has everything I want right here. And I can put it right here to my right, and I can paint and have all of my colors at my disposal. So isn't this just a delicatessen of beauty? It's very, very heavy because it is porcelain. And I had to put like felt feet on the bottom so that it doesn't scratch my tables and stuff. But look at the deliciousness of that paint. I have not even tapped into it. There's a little bit of paint on the edge that was just from my swatching. I love swatching watercolors as well. And what I also loved about this is I'm a purist in many forms, many ways. And I tend to like to, when I would create a palette, I would put all of my M. Grahams together in one palette, nothing else. Or my Winsor Newton, I would do that. And now I've mixed all of my favorites into this palette. So there's Winsor Newton, there's Sennelier, there's M. Graham, which is my favorite. There is Core watercolor. There's Daniel Smith watercolor. So she is my Bodacious palette. And so you guys might see her if I do a tutorial on camera. I would just have to probably raise my camera up. I don't know how I would do that, but because she's a big mama. Like even if I put her off to the side halfway, she's still pretty big. But I just wanted to share that with you because I know many of you care about what matters to me. And that's just sharing a little piece of my life. And it has this cover, which I think I'll tape my swatch card inside of this, just so that I have it stationary with this palette at all times. But then I had, obviously, the challenge of my life is always finding a place for my stuff. So I did find a place right here to my right. So I'm just going to set it back in place, and then we'll get going with the project at hand. But I had to show you guys First I was like, oh, that's so silly, Cara-Renee. They don't care about that, but I know that you guys do. Those of you who watch me all the time. So now let's talk about the project. I have my typical supplies, my whale tail punch, my circle punch, my cutter and score tool, my Fabri-Tac ink, corner rounder, eyelet setter, eyelets, and the project. So this is what we're going to be making on camera. So I'm just going to set that aside. We'll talk about it in a minute. So let me show you a sample first. There are a few different ways you can do this project. So it is basically, it's hard to describe even. So let me just open this one up. So this one is going this way, but this one is going sideways. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you do it. And this is for the Grungy Library journal. This is for obviously the AnnE with an E journal, AnnE with an E journal. So let me show you the big one just so you can get a good look at what's involved. So this belly band closure is here because there's a writing space here and it will pop open if it's not secured. So see how it pops up like that? So basically, this is a pocket. Let me just take everything out. It is a gusseted pocket. Okay, so it's gusseted. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then it's got this, let me take those cards out as well. And then it's got this writing space. So I just covered this piece with a piece of writing paper, but it's got both of these sides here for writing. It just will flip up. So I put these cards in this little area right here. And then we've got that quote, I couldn't live where there were no trees, something vital in me would starve. And that's from one of the page kits. I think it's linked, guys. It's one of the AnnE journal, AnnE kits that we've been using. So, and then we've got 3 large journal cards. So it's a stuffed mama here too. And then obviously this goes on. Now I'm debating on whether or not I want to, I often create ephemera where I glue this belly band down to the page, and then that makes it everything stationary. And I'm thinking I might do that, but we will decide that when we start putting the AnnE journal together. So I'm not gonna tie that up again because that will take me a while. I'm just gonna find a safe place to set it, which is a feat in and of itself. There we go. The desk is clear, but I don't want to clutter my workspace. So this is one that's the same as that. It's just I did short journal cards. So, oh, you know what? I did that sideways. Oh, crud. This one was supposed to go this way as well, but then I put the quote on wrong and the circles on wrong. So that's okay. So our cards are going this way. Not a big deal. Nobody's going to care. And then these ones are going the right way. Silly, silly me. So same concept. So again, this could be glued to your page and it secures your closure as a closure, but it also is a placeholder for this whole piece in your journal. So I like the idea. I do it often. So we'll set that one aside. This is for the Grungy Library journal. Now this one, oh, I know, I wanted to go back to this. So because these cards are so short, I was thinking maybe this could go kind of in the middle of a page or kind of towards the top of the page. And then when your writing space comes out, you've got the bottom part of your journal page that you have a stable surface to write on. So so that's the deal with that, with those vertical ones. Vertical, is that right? Vertical. And then this one, because it's going to go this way, similar to my template, it's going to go in a journal like this. So let me show you mechanically how that's going to work. This is just a white page. And so it's going to sit in here. It's not going to go right up to that edge because we need to be able to open up that writing space. So we're just going to bump it up here. Let's open this one up so you can see what that will look like. Okay, so we just take that off actually. Didn't even need to untie it. So we can put that right there. And then when you want to write on it, you can open it like this. Now, oh, I meant to put a writing paper on here. I didn't want one on this because it's so pretty, but I could totally go back and put one on here. I meant to do that actually. But then when it goes this way, you also can write on it. Okay, so so that's the functionality of that piece. I absolutely love this idea. I don't think me weird, but I do dream about this stuff. Like, I fall asleep thinking about these things to make. So this is our template. So it is designed with going sideways. So we are going to need a paper that is 5.5. No, that is the wrong measure. Yeah, 5.5. No, that's not right. It should be 5 3/4. I'm so sorry, guys. I think I changed something. So let me just cross that off. 5 3/4 right there. So I'll change all the places I wrote 5 1/4. So your paper is going to be 5 3/4 inches wide and 11 inches tall. Okay, and that will make more sense when we get to the making. And then that accounts for a 1/4 inch gusset. And then our belly band is 1 1/4. I ended up rounding this up to 10 inches because 9 15/16 is ridiculous. But I was experimenting and I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to work. So that is that. And so it's the same process, same thing. It flips out like this. And so this should read 3/4 and that should read 5 3/4. So, but this will be pictured in the photos at the end of the video, as well as it's usually on my social media as well. If I ever forget, please just give me a holler and I will go back and grab it. Sometimes I do forget. So that is what we're going to be making. Oh, that's tight. That one is tight. Okay. So making sure my keyboard doesn't stop my video. So without further ado, let me move some stuff and we'll get going. That was a lot of yapping, but you know me, if you come here, you know that that's going to happen. So that's on you. I've got a couple different colors of seam binding. I couldn't decide what I wanted. But this is for the Grungy Library Journal. Look at these images. They are linked. They've been linked in the video description box, but we're going to be using these 3 main images. We'll have to trim them down a little bit. This one we're going to make it be the tall way, I believe, because of the images. I think these are just too pretty to cut down too much. So I'm going to put those over there. This is just a piece of that tea stain paper printed on 20-pound paper, and that's what we'll use to line that area that we can make another writing space. So this is going to be our base, and this is going to be, some part of this is going to be the belly band. I haven't decided what. So let's start with this. I'm going to grab my trimmer here and hope that I remember how I did this. Now the unfortunate thing is this design is going to get off because I have to cut this down, but you know, there are sacrifices everywhere in life, aren't there? So I'm going to go ahead and set this to cut at 5 3/4. So right there. Okay. It's going to be okay. Apologize if you can hear the TV. My husband, for some reason, plays his shows in the evening so loud. So that's 5 3/4. And then just take it and turn it, and we're going to score at 3. I didn't make score notes on that, did I? I will change that, guys, on that template. I'm so sorry. So hold on to your underwear and I'll get it for you. So we're going to score first from the bottom 3 inches. Make sure you don't cut. You only score, and then move it to 6. So we're doing 2 3-inch score lines. So another score line at 6 inches. Okay. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and fold this and give it a burnish. And then we'll move on to the next step. So I just like to make sure we scored it. It should be even, but it's always good to check. Okay. There we go. And then let's turn that so we can get our other bottom score line. And again, give that a good burnish. Okay. And now what we need to do is we need to ink this edge and this edge because we need to be able to see where our fold up parts stop and our pocket starts. I hope that makes some sense. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ink. It's going to be kind of hard to see on this paper because it's such a dark, beautiful paper, but we're going to try and see if we can get that really bold there. So we're doing it there. Yeah, we can see that. And on the other 3-inch score line. I'm a little bit high on, you know, energy here because I've got so many things I need and want to do before I leave for my fishing trip, which today is Friday. It's Friday evening, and yeah, I've got some videos to get prepared and get all the social media and all the scheduling and all that done so that I can start packing for our trip. We leave on next Friday morning, and then we're gone until Tuesday afternoon. So what I'm going to do is make sure that you don't cut all this way, okay? I like the gusseted pocket because it doesn't limit how many things I can put in it. So that's why we're going to gusset the part up here. I should have explained that first. So this, what is the dimensions on, what are the dimensions on that? That was very bad English. Let's see what the dimensions are on that. That's 4 3/4. So the part that's 4 3/4, we're going to be doing a 1/4 inch score line here, but we're going to be cutting off a 1/4 inch on the bottom section. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm just lining that up, and I'd like to start my cutter where I want it to start because it's hard to get this lined up, and that just moved, so I want to make sure that I fix that. Goodness gracious. There we go. Okay. And so I'm just going to start where that first score line is and cut down. Okay. And then just go ahead and turn it and do the same thing on the other side, and starting here and going that direction again because I can see the line on my tool better this way. So hopefully I have that lined up. Okay. I feel like it keeps shifting. Okay. And then we're just going to get some scissors here and trim that off. So you're just going to cut on that inked line. I cut a little high on that, but that's not a problem. Okay, so cutting that little bit off, and you're just cutting that little 1/4 inch strip off. Come on. Like that, okay? So now we need to score these bits. So we're going to score all the way to that cut line. Okay, and yes, this did take me a long time to figure out. I love doing my filming during the weekend because it allows me to have time in the evenings to just do planning, and that's really working well for me. I can't move this any further up because of stuff there, so I'm just gonna do the same here. Make sure I don't cut and I only score. Like that. You should be done with that cutter. So we're just going to fold that score line and burnish it. I always end up with that white, no matter how hard I try. I just always do, because when I flip my paper over to print on the back, it never lines up right. There we go. So nice burnish. And then I like to clip those corners. You don't have to, but I feel like it helps. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. Let me go from the other angle here. I've just newly been loving doing these gussets because I feel like it doesn't limit you. It gives you more expansive space. You don't have to use all that space, but it's there if you want it. So there we go. So let's just burnish that again since I bent it out, folded it out. And I'm not too concerned about this. I just don't like the look of it, so I'm just going to ink that white because it just visually bothers me. Okay, there we go. So what this is going to look like, we're going to do a thumb notch up here, but then this folds up like that, okay? Just like that. Oh, that actually looks really cool. Sometimes the folds don't work out quite the way I envision it, but that's really, really pretty. And again, we're going to make this tall because I really like the journal, the papers that we chose to make our cards out of. We've got a little nick there from my scoring. I think I replaced the score blade, and I think that's why I'm having trouble lately. Okay, so that's that. So let's go ahead and give it a thumb notch. And again, as always, I spy and just don't worry too much about it being perfect. I mean, you could, so let me just show you. If you wanted to be that person, you could, and that's not a negative connotation at all. You could find your center by doing this. Okay, let me just do that to show you. So I'm using my grid and just putting this out so it's even on my grid, and then I'm just going to make a mark up here. And then I know that that's the center of my hole. So can you see that pencil mark right there? Just in case you're new, I don't want to, or new to this craft, I don't want to mislead you or leave you hanging. So, and then the punch itself has a little mark in there that shows you what the center is. So, boom. Yeah. Okay, let me ink this up really quick. Like I said, I'm high on energy, and I have a Down syndrome student that just had a couple of really, really great days, and so I'm kind of celebrating that, I guess. You know, I mean, work has been over for quite a while today, but it was just really big wins and a lot of inroads that were made, and it's just really exciting. It makes me feel like I'm in the right place. Some days I don't feel like I'm in the right place with my job because sometimes I feel like I'm just babysitting, and then I have days and weeks like this where I'm like, no, I'm not babysitting. I'm teaching, I am modeling, I am encouraging, I am empowering, I am doing all of those things. So now you could also round the corners on this stuff. So let's look at that and see if we would have any interest in rounding anything. I'm just giving this a rough inking just for the sake of the video. And I love this, you guys. I literally have not changed this. Like, sometimes I have to pick off some hairy bits, but oh, it's amazing. Okay, it's a nail file thing. Okay, so what would this look like if we rounded the corners? I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that today, but you could. You would just maybe want to plan for it a little bit so you didn't have a bad surprise if something didn't work out the way you hoped. So that is the structure there, and I guess we do need our cutting board again. So let me bring that back over because we will need to cut our belly band. Now, you could use this paper again, but I feel like it's redundant. So I wanted to choose something different, and I'm thinking I want to go for this section in the middle that's kind of gold. So I'm going to just trim this down so that I have something to start with here. Okay, and our belly band is 1 1/4 inches wide. So I want to get this section in here. So 1 1/4 right there. Whoops, it just moved. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Okay. Boom. Oh, that's going to be perfect. Okay. So then the other thing is so it's 1 1/4 by 10 inches. So I'm just going to go over here and make a mark where the 10 inch point is here. So we can just slice that while we've got the trimmer here. So your belly band should be 1 1/4 inches by 10 inches if you're following my dimensions. Now, as always, if you're not following my dimensions and you're doing it bigger or smaller, you would just adjust this to what you're doing. Oh, that looks really cool because this is the part that's going to be on the top, is this. Oh, that's really nice. Okay. So the other thing I did is I took this and I found my center again because I want that belly band to be even on each side of the front of this. So I'm just going to line that up again with my grid, and I'm going to make a pencil mark. I can erase that when I'm done. Okay, I want to be able to see it though. And then I'm going to put my belly band piece down here. And well, actually I can just do it off here because it's not important to this piece at this point. And I'm going to mark 5 inches. So I'm going to mark at the 10 inch, right? Yes. 10, right? Yes. So then when you go to start folding these edges up, which will make more sense in a second, you know that I'm going to actually turn this over so I can see that mark. It's not going to matter in the finished project here. So I can line that line up to that line. I hope that makes sense, guys. So see the line I made on the belly band, and then the line I made, you can kind of see that graphite right here on the piece itself. So that's what I'm aiming for here. And then you don't want it to be super tight. So I just, I do a kind of, I'm going to turn it just so I have an angle, and I'm going to just leave just a tiniest bit of a gap on the edge of that. And I'll show you that here in a sec. So see that little gap, see how that's sticking out? Just slightly beyond the edge, because you don't want it to be so tight that you're going to be, you're going to be affecting things and squishing things up when you don't really want to. So, and then we're going to do the same with this side, and I'm going to just wait and pinch that here in a minute. Do my hard pinch anyway, okay? Because you do want to make sure that you've got them lined up on the edge so that everything is nice and straight. Okay. I hope this is clearer than mud. There we go. And now we can go ahead and erase those pencil marks just so we don't forget. Okay. This one's not so important because it's not going to show. And then I like to round the corners on the edge of this. So I'm going to round these 4 corners with my 7mm rounder. So yeah, we saw the lake that we're going to is, it's outside of Bend, Oregon. We live in Washington, but we've been going up there I've been going up there since I was 16 years old. When I first started dating my husband, I was 15 when I met him, but I met him after Memorial Day of my 15th year. And so I didn't go to East Lake with him until the next year. And, which was crazy because the fact that my parents let me go was just nuts because, yeah, it was nuts that they let me go. Anyway, so, what was I going to say? I don't even know. I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm just yakking. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink the inside as well. But anyways, it's quite a ways away. It's probably about a 5-hour drive, maybe a little less. Well, we don't travel, so that's a long drive for me because we don't really go anywhere. We're very much homebodies, but sometimes we go up there and there's snow. Oh, I know I was going to say that they showed a picture of the lake. There's no ice on the lake. Typically at this point, like early May, mid-May, the lake is still frozen, and it's not frozen. So that's a good sign that we might have some decent weather and not too much snow. In past years, we have pictures of our kids when they were like early teens, and we're sitting down in the cabin, and our daughter is on a snowbank looking down into the window of our cabin. It was crazy. Those are not fun years though, because everybody tends to be kind of stuck inside because the fishing is not great when it's super cold or windy or whatever. Look at that. That is perfect. So see how you got that, and then these should be measuring the same distance. So that looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and do holes here. So I'm just going to gently fold this. I'm not going to pinch this over here, but I'm going to fold that so those points meet so I can punch my holes for our eyelets. So yeah, my kids, I started going when I was 16. We got married when I was 18, right after I turned 18, and then my kids were all born going up there. It's in their blood, this tradition, and it's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a long time to be up there in kind of small spaces. I think I mentioned it in another video. Because when we congregate for meals, it's a lot of people in a small space, but during the day, everybody goes fishing, and if the weather's nice, you know, most everybody stays out all day. Like we have kind of we don't get up and fish at the, you know, dark, you know, whatever time. We get up when we get up. We have a nice family breakfast, and then we pack lunches and snacks and all that, and we head out to the lake. But yeah. Okay, so what do we want to use? I actually just sorted. I had a mess in my drawer here of all my seam binding, but I'm thinking this might be really pretty to tie that. Look at that color. It's perfect. Let's do it. I pulled out some other ones, but I'm feeling like this is a good one. So yeah, anyway, and so I like to prepare things for the granddaughters. The boys spend a lot of time outside. The girls do spend, I mean, Kenzie, she stays out with the boys for fishing a lot of the day, but she likes to come back and spend time with her cousin Ayla, who's not as much of an outdoors girl as Kenzie is, but they don't get to see each other very often. So I'm just feeding this through the inside, from the inside to the outside, because my fingers are having trouble. So I do stamped images on watercolor paper, and they watercolor, and I kind of get to share that love. Boy, that is just not working well for me at all. Let's try that again. And then I have like adult coloring books we take up, and we color and we play games, and I take some fussy cutting because I do spend I don't spend as much time outside as everybody else. My tolerance is not like it used to be. I used to go out and fish in all weather, like literally all weather. That's not the right way. It needs to stay under. I mean, I remember when our kids were little, we'd be 5 of us. Well, there was 3 kids, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us in a boat. And we'd be out there all day in the rain, in the wind, in this. I mean, it was like, I was pretty durable back then. I'm not so durable anymore. It doesn't tickle me to do that. Okay, so there we've got that. So let's just go ahead and slide this. Seam binding is weird. I wonder if I didn't get it from my scrap cabin. Maybe it's from someplace else. Because the quality of her seam binding is epic. Oh, we want to go. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. There we go. So let's just tie that just so it's out of our way and that part is done. So I just need to pull this a little bit more. And then I take books and magazines and just things that I don't really take the time to do at home because I'm always like in the studio or fussing around, and I don't really take time to just enjoy some of those other leisurely things that I do enjoy. I just don't take the time. So just going to cut those a little bit shorter. Okay, there we go. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Okay, so now let's work on our cards. Oh, we do want to, I'm going to slide this off because I want to show you how I do that piece that I cover. So again, I don't want to cover this up because it's part of this beautiful face on it, but I can put a piece of paper here. And I think I actually had one already cut, which I think was the one I didn't put on the other one. It was partially cut. So I'm going to make sure I've got this in the right place right here. And I'm just going to make a mark to trim this to size. It's already trimmed to the height. So these sections of the base measure 3 inches by 5. Oh, I better check that after the scoring. I think it's 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/4. So I just go slightly smaller with the paper. Exact measurements are not that important. You can do what you like. Going to grab the trimmer one more time. I think, well, we'll have to use it for the journal cards here in a moment. Okay. And then I like to round these two just to kind of give it a little bit of a softer edge. I haven't brought our mascot into view recently. Penelope is doing just fine. Penelope, I'm going to bring you to say hi to our friends. This is Penelope. She is my sleeping studio bear. My daughter, my oldest daughter, made this for me for, gosh, what was it? For Christmas? Not this year. I don't even remember when she made it. I think it was for Christmas. So yeah, she's Penelope. You guys all helped name her, which was fun. I probably should have made sure this was straight before I got all excited. But that's the beauty of Fabri-Tac. She's meant to be the mascot. So I wish that I had a place that she could go, like where I could just reach her, but there's just not any place right here. I may need to rethink that. She needs to be a part of the party. So that folds up like that, okay? So we can slide this back on just so we can keep the beautiful vision that we have for this project. So I'm just putting that on, okay? Now this one is, our cards are going to be tall. So in terms of a journal page, let me see if I can find a journal page really quick. Just give me a sec. So let's say this was our journal page. This is not a good example, and it's got the white border, so, but this is what it would look like. So this is our journal page. I love this print. Totally love it. So it could go here. Oh, this would actually be really pretty on this page. It could go here. No, it would go like this. Okay, hold on. Maybe the inside. So if you were putting it on the inside, oh, this is going to go the other way. I'm so sorry, guys. So my thinking here is that, I mean, it could go all the way to the bottom, but then when you open this up, well, you're writing on the back side though. So let me take this off so we can look at this again together. I'm so sorry. So if this is here, yeah, it would fold up. So that would be perfect because you're not writing on the back of the pocket. You're writing on this space, and this space. So that would be, no matter where you put it on your page, would work fine. So that's the thought there. So I know sometimes I rush through kind of demonstrating how you would use it in your journal. So so that's that. But see how that pops up? It doesn't work for me. In fact, it's going to bother me. So I got to put this back on. I've got to put it back on. There we go. Okay. So it was an afterthought for me before I prepared the papers for this project that you could use this as a tuck as well. So we will be doing that today. So I only have these, but I might pull some more depending on how time is going. So this is just absolutely gorgeous. But I think I really want her to be on the front, in the front area. So so our pocket itself, the width without the gussets, is 5 1/4. So I would want to go close to 5 1/4. You can go right up to that boundary though, because you've got the gusset. You don't have to worry about glue lines or anything like that. So I'm going to bring the cutter back over. Let me just cap those eyelets so they don't go flying. And I guess I do need this open. So I want her to be a little bit smaller because she's going to sit in the front of this. Okay, well, maybe not. Oh my gosh, I don't know which is prettier. This is so gorgeous. You know what? I want this to be in the front. So I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. Because right now it's 5 1/4 inches wide, so I'm just going to take a little bit off of each side, just because it's nice not to have things be too tight. Okay, like so. And then when she's in here, she can be the full height, I believe, of the page. This is actually a journal page I just cut in half. So see how that sits up like that? Look at those colors. Oh my gosh. So pretty. So pretty. So the other thing is you would be able to decide as well if you want to glue the bottom of your pocket or leave it open. You could leave it open like it's a belly band. In fact, I think that's what I'd like to do. Maybe I'll even call it that, just for interest, that it's a pocket. It's a flip down writing space pocket belly band. That's a mouthful. So I think I will probably leave it open because it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to go up and down. Boom, boom, boom. Just like anything else. Okay, so let's just demonstrate it like that. So it's sticking down like that. Okay, and you still got some beautiful stuff up there. So when if I want this one in the front, I would make it smaller, but I want it to be in the back. And it's a little bit too wide, so I need to take just a smidge off, like talking like 1/8 of an inch on each side. And then we'll take a look at it and see how good we did. Okay, so let's just slide her in the back. Well, let's slide her in the front just to get a look here. Just to get a look. She's a little bit too wide still, so I'm going to take just a smidge more off. A smidge is a technical term, so that will work. It's a little bit tight though. I don't like to fight with my paper because sometimes it doesn't hold up well when it's forced. So okay, so that's going to go in the back here, and then we don't have to take anything off the top and off the bottom or anything. We'll just leave her like that. But I really like her. Oh my goodness, I'm so torn. Oh, you know what, guys? I think she needs to be on the front. I think she does. I'm sorry. You are beautiful too. You are beautiful too. So off camera, I will put a whale tail punch on. I do think I want her to be a little bit shorter though. So I'm going to take just a smidge off the bottom. I want to see this behind it, and that will give me that fix that I want. So it's going to go like that. So I'll put a whale tail punch tab on the top of this back one, and I'll round the corners and all that. You don't need to see all that on camera. I just use my 10mm corner rounder because I like that really rounded look. So I'll do that, but let's talk about what we can put in this pocket. So I didn't make anything for it because putting something in this front space was not something I was thinking about when I was doing the other one. Or when I was preparing the papers for this one. So let's see if we've got anything just in this kind of scrappy folder here. So maybe we'll put a few in this front section. So let's see. I'm going to cut this one in half. It's a full journal page. I think I printed this 2 to a page, but I didn't do fit to page, so that's why they're so small. So let's just do that. I really love this one for this. So I'm going to take a little bit off the top and the bottom because I don't want them to be too big. Okay. So that's one that can go in here. Yeah, so pretty. I think I'd like that one to be in the front and maybe 2 behind it. So let's cut this one down as well. I love these typewriters though. So cool. I found some really great kits. I bought so many kits though, you guys. I already have a buyer for the lap book. She didn't reply to me yet back, but she had left a comment, and I knew I saw her. She's the one, she bought a couple of other journals from me recently, but I knew I saw something from her, but then I couldn't find where she commented. And so when I went back, I was able to find it, and she wants to purchase the Grungy lap book journal. So I'm going to do that. I don't think I want this one. I think I want to go with this instead. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of the bottom of this one. Isn't that just the coolest image ever? Just, oh my gosh. So cool. I think I like that one sitting up like that. And then we could put the books behind it like that. Oh yeah, stuff. Let's stuff this baby. Okay, so that's what she's going to look like, guys. So again, you guys have seen me, do this, rounding and all that stuff. So I don't think I need to show you, but let's just show you what it looks like all together. So I'm not going to slide her in because I know it fits already, but look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And I will put something on here. Maybe I can use some of the die cuts or something to put on top of this. little closure. But that is our project for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you try it. There are so many variations. So if you're a dreamer like I am, a creative dreamer, if you can just think about basic ephemera and just think about how you can make it be more than it is. And that being said, I've been watching Jen. I can't remember her channel name, guys. I will link it down below. She's on Justine Jenkins' design team as well. And I've been watching some of her videos, and she is very cool to listen to. So I would encourage you to check her out. She's very, very energetic, and she's got one of those voices that just makes you want to listen. She's just very, very good. She did a project using some of her own digitals as a freebie. And I'm thinking about just grabbing those because I would love to support her and give her a couple bucks for them. But she made this amazing stacked tag project that's got a belly band in it, and it's just like this monumental, totally Cara-Renee kind of project. So I reached out to her, commented on her video, reached out to her and asked her if she would mind if I did it on my channel, and I send all my people over to her. So I'm going to be doing that. Hopefully that'll be one of the videos I'm able to prepare before I go that you'll be able to see while I'm gone. So that is it, my friends. I will talk to you soon. So that being said, if you're watching this video, I'm not sure what day this is going to be publishing. It will maybe before I leave. I'm not sure what order I'm going to put all these videos in on the channel, but just know if I don't get back to you on Facebook or in the group or on YouTube, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not in town. I won't have any internet cell service at all. Like, I get cell service on the way to the lake until we're about a half an hour from the lake, and then it's just blackout. And then we don't leave until Tuesday morning. And then I get signal about that same point, maybe a half an hour or so from the time we leave the lake. So just know that I will get back to you with comments, your comments. So I will talk to you guys soon. I wish I would see you soon, but I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.